Welcome to Conscious Coupling, where Frederic and Christy Whitman share their experiences of creating a conscious, connected relationship. Every week, they give practical tools, steps, and processes to help you find the loving connection with your partner. Let's get into today's conversation with Frederic and Christy.
Welcome to Conscious Connected Coupling.
Hello, everyone. I'm Frederic Gilbey.
I'm Christy Whitman. So today we are counting down to our third. This is our third, last, and final Conscious Connected Coupling podcast. Obviously, we've provided lots of great information. If you've missed any of the episodes, definitely urge you to go back and listen to them. And if you're looking to have more empowerment from us and learn more about this information and go deeper, there's a couple options for you. You can go to FromDramaToLove.com. You can go to BreakingFreeFromDrama.com/love. It's a free 7-video series on how to get out of drama, and then it goes into From Drama to Love. We have couples retreats. We're still doing our couples work, but the podcast, we've done what we could do here. So there's a lot more that we could do, but.
And we're still doing our own couples work.
Absolutely.
We've got to come up with a new series from the couples work that we do,
So,
Christy and I.
But here's the thing, most people, and that's what today's episode is about, there's always one in a couple that might have resistance to doing couples work. One might be willing to do it, where the other one's like, no way. And so we wanted to just address some of those objections that the couple, the one in the couple might be saying, no, it's to this, or I can't do that, or to understand what couples coaching is, because it's not therapy. So take it away.
Take it away. So when we say couples work, it's as we said, it's not necessarily therapy. It's more someone that is a third party, that is outside, that offers an outside perspective about questions that you would have inside your couple, right? We all come up with certain questions inside our couple. There's always certain situations. Sometimes it's the same situation that we butt up against. And that's what kind of happened with Christy and I earlier on in our relationship. There was a few situations that we used to butt up against, and those situations would come up more often than others. So because of that, I started asking myself some questions. I started wondering, okay, what do I need to do in my relationship so that it continues, it flourishes, and we have the relationship that basically I wanted to have in my life, not a relationship that I had seen necessarily with my father and my mother, having a divorce after their marriage. And those were the patterns that I had within me that I needed to understand. And how I was able to understand these patterns that I was bringing into my own relationship with Christy was by having someone, a third party, help kind of distinguish this and
illuminate it for you.
Illuminate it, yeah, exactly. And tell me about these behaviors, these patterns, even to the point where there's things that I was communicating, speaking, that were kind of leading to these ways of creating these patterns. So if you have these types of questioning, these are the reasons.
Can I say something real quick?
No.
So I heard of something on the radio, and I shared it with Frederic, and it made me laugh, but it's so true. There was a man talking about, a DJ talking on one of the radio stations, and he was saying that a lot of men will complain when their wives are nagging at them because they're complaining. They're, like, you do this, I want you to do that, I want you to go to couples coaching with me, or I want to go to therapy, nagging. And he said, it's when the nagging stops that you need to worry, because then you're headed to divorce. Because it's so true, because the woman asks, and the woman asks, and the woman asks, or usually typically it's the woman that is like, I want to go to therapy, this isn't working for me. I can speak for, at least in our relationship, this isn't working for me, I didn't sign up for this. We kept butting our heads on the same thing. And it felt like a nag, because it turns into, I'm not heard. So then it gets elevated, and then it gets more in a complaining way, or the woman doesn't know how to necessarily skillfully ask or ask in a way that's clear. But it is true that he couldn't hear that.
Well, that's it. I mean, I was stuck in my own reasons why I didn't want to do couples work. And my main reason why I didn't want to do couple work is I didn't want to show anybody the intimacy that, that intimate world of my couple was only for her and I.
He used to think someone would seep in there and
why should I share this stuff? And a lot of us think like that. I mean, this is our sacred space, right? So why should someone know what's going on and be aware of what's going on inside of our own space, our own nucleus? And so lo and behold, now that I know that there are some insights again that are there for me to understand what's going on inside our relationship. I mean, now I understand that it is worth, the effort to make the work that is my inner work also. I mean, it's partly mine to do because we come together as one individual inside the relationship. So each individual has their things, and that's what it's all about, is figuring out inside our inner work is where we're coming from, why we are acting or doing certain things or behaving in certain ways and speaking in certain ways that we are bringing into the relationship.
Well, that's just it, is that we don't realize it because it is law of attraction, that we do attract and we are attracted to each other even by our buttons. So we found along our way with doing our own, journey of going inward and connecting with each other, is that he was in a total place of fear and projecting fear that he's going to get married and he's going to get a divorce because that's what was modeled for him. And me, I was like, I was coming from a place of I'm going to run the first minute there's any type of trouble because I don't want to stay stuck in something that I don't want. So our patterns would bump up against each other, and that's what kind of like brought us together. And that was beating. It's like we both had to release that. Another thing that we recognized in our relationship was I could say this. I came to him, and I think I shared this on the podcast at some point, where I came to him and I said, I just realized like you'll never be able to win because in my training as a woman and watching all the women before me, except for my grandmother, the men were never enough. They never did enough, they never made enough, they never supported enough. It was just never enough. And so I was looking at him through the eyes of, you're not enough. You're not rescuing me. You're not helping me. You're not whatever. And he was having the exact same matching patterns because his mom, like the women in my family, had that men are not enough. They don't make enough, do enough, they don't take me out enough. And so he was programmed that men are not enough. So what is he? He's the man, he's not gonna ever be enough. So I had the pattern of you're not enough. He agreed with his pattern saying I'm never gonna be enough. And then when we release those patterns, I can now appreciate him, not as a man or husband, but as Frederic, and really appreciate all that he brings into the couple. And he doesn't have to feel like he's not enough anymore. And I'm not also feeding that, that constant disappointment or that constant frustration or that constant anger coming at him that's going, well, my mom was right. It's true. I'm not enough. Right? So that couples work changed everything for us.
Yeah, we made us realize that we don't need to come from our roles, right? The roles of being a father, being a husband are different from coming from Frederic, from who I am as a person, what I like, and now I can start sharing to her what I do prefer as Frederic, what I like, what I want in my life. And as we grow older, both of us, all these things change. These requests, these ways of being, they all change. And so as I grow, then there's a different way to connect to each other. Yeah. And there's a different way to be intimate with each other. And so that is the growth that belongs in a couple's work together. And that's being intimate together, is learning what he or she likes and how to coordinate life together like that.
So let's talk about the objections, because
a lot of objections that I had earlier on was, as I say, I don't want to have a third person kind of into my relationship. So again, how can we have, the broader perspective of our relationship when we're in it? When we're in it, we only have, as you said, tunnel vision, right? Instead of having a broader vision of total vision of what's in our life. Another reason is the money, right? Why would I invest and pay someone
that's too much
to
money,
work with us?
right?
It's too much money.
And he used to say that too. What, you're paying her again? Why do we have to pay that?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, that investment that we made in the time, because there's a time investment, right? There's a resource, there's a courage investment, because you have to have courage to be able to willing to, look at yourself. So there's that. And then the money. It's a resource, but God, it's like the best investment we could have made, not only for our kids and their well-being, for each other and we wouldn't be together if we wouldn't have gone through.
Yeah, for the health of our family, because as you know, we have kids, and we have kids, and we do have a family that is around our couple, and our kids basically are affected by our energy.
Yeah.
The nucleus, as I call it, in our family is us. It's Christy and me. And so I believe that, for the sake of the health of our kids, we owe it to them in order for us to be kind of in our own power, aligned in our own power. It's important to do the work as well.
And one thing I will say with our kids is, like, even when we were driving them to school today, we're like flirting and talking about, flirty stuff, and they're like, oh God, and I always tell them, wouldn't you much prefer to see us sharing how much we love and appreciate each other and flirting that we can't keep our hands off each other than arguing or separated or not even looking at each other? And of course they prefer that. So our kids are growing up with that, or it's like, could you stop touching him? Would you stop talking about sex? Would you, And so they'll have their own issues that they'll have to do their own therapy when they're older, but it's a good issue. My parents couldn't keep their hands off each other. It's a better issue than my parents couldn't stand the sight of each other.
Yeah, my parents hate each other. So that's the thing. I mean, once you don't necessarily understand your partner, how they grow into something, then you can't relate to them. So don't you want to relate to your partner and have an awesome time together, always have fun adventures together, and just continuing on the path of joy together. That's what I want in my relationship.
Right.
I know that now. And so that it leads me to another reason, is my relationship is fine the way it is.
Oh, yeah.
So that's looking at your relationship just today. How about tomorrow? How about, in the future? What do you want in your relationship?
What's the vision?
Right. That's what we do every once in a while. We every year, especially.
We did it last night. We were sitting down talking, and we were talking about our vision
of our relationship.
Yeah.
Where do we want to stay? What house do we want to live in? What area do we want? What
vacations do we want to go on?
That's it. Yeah.
How do we want to invest our money in? All of it.
That's it. So that's the fun part now for us. It's not all right, baby, I need to talk to you about, what we want to do in the future. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. No, we're both happy to look at what the future looks like together.
Yes.
So that's
a big one.
Part of the reasons that couples work is something important to do.
And very different from therapy, because, a lot of people, I don't want to sit around and talk about my feelings all day. That's not what couples work is. That's therapy. If you want to go to therapy, then, and you're worried. But couples coaching is very different. It's focusing on, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? How do you want to feel? What do you need to let go of? And let's move in that direction. It's future visioning. It's being able to, really manage your own energy, connecting with your own divine self now in this moment. And when you do that, then you start healing the past. It's not advice giving, and that's one of the things too, is that people think, well, who's someone else to give me advice? Therapists will give you advice. Psychologists will give you advice. Coaches, well-trained coaches, like I train within the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, or I have been trained, I don't give advice. We don't give advice. We ask questions so that you are having a time dedicated for your couple, and then you can ask yourself and your partner, how we feel about this certain thing. What do we want? If you're going to go on a vacation this year, where do you want to go?
Right. You come up with the answers. You come up with
options.
The options. You come up with the things that are opening up to you, actually, as you discover, as you peel off the onion, right? The layers of who you are as a couple and what's inside yourself. Then you start discovering, oh, wow, this is what I like. And this is what she likes. So wow, this is something that we could do together.
Right. It's a self-discovery first, and then it's a pinging back and forth.
And
after.
again, it's therapy versus coaching. So coaching is not something that we're wanting to make you feel that you're right or you're wrong. It's really a discovering of what's going on inside of you. And answering some questions, because we all come up with questions, week by week, day by day. We have questions. Hey, what happened yesterday? Even you could sit down together, and that's what we do sometimes. We're like, what happened yesterday with that situation? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So that is when you're leading to that. I mean, it's awesome to have inside your couple.
Absolutely, because remember, when she stops nagging, that's when the trouble begins, boy.
Well, now you don't nag anymore,
I
so
don't.
that's awesome.
No nagging.
Don't you want no nagging from your woman?
NoNagging.com.
NoNagging.com.
So with that being said, hopefully we're not here to sell anybody on coaching, but we're here to really show what the options are and why it is so different from therapy, because a lot of people will be like, no, but they just don't have all the information, right? And so when you don't have all the information, when you don't know what it's like, when you haven't done it before, it could be a little scary. And so I'm just grateful, whether you choose it for yourself or not, that's totally up to you. Obviously we all have free will, but it changed our relationships. It made us it made me stronger to learn my own place within myself about the drama triangle and how to get out of that and into the circle of love, how to be empowered to know that I'm a free-willed individual and I can choose my thoughts, I choose my consciousness, and him too. And it improved our relationship, it improved our family lives, it improves us as a parent. So we offer From Drama to Love. We have our whole program. You can go to FromDramaToLove.com. And it's 30 days of literally all the concepts, all the behaviors, all the perspectives that keep us stuck in the drama triangle that all of us learned. We all learned it.
And they're easy concepts to understand. They're easy concepts to learn about. They're easy concepts to actually apply in your life. That's what we want, is we've applied these concepts in our lives. And we found that it ultimately changed our relationship. And so these concepts will work in your relationship as well. Yeah. So that is what we want to share with you.
So go check it out. And if you need more further support, we still have our Costa Rica beautiful VIP, only 10 couples going.
Amazing retreat.
Vacation, 5-star private plane picking you up from San Jose Airport. It's the only us in this beautiful place, waterfalls, beaches. I mean, private beach, hello, that got me at hello.
Talk about VIP treatment.
Yeah, 5-star, 6-star. If you are wanting more of that, more time together, more healing work in that capacity, you can email beth@christywhitman.com about that. And that wraps up today's show. So tomorrow, next week, our second to last episode is all about you need to change in order for me to be happy.
Oh my God. How do I have to be for her to be happy? Well, I guess we'll find that out in the next episode.
See you next time.
See you next week.
Thanks for listening to Conscious Coupling with Frederic Gobet and Christy Whitman. If you like our show and want to know more, check out ChristyWhitman.com. And please leave us a review on iTunes. Learn how to turn your partner into your soulmate. Join us again next week for another powerful episode.